No one is telling you, Monty, you can't do this. You shouldn't do this. There's probably some haters out there. You know, you're not winning unless you got some haters. But that loudest voice in your head is yours, saying that, oh, just because I'm not shooting in 4K or 8K, just because I don't have the full frame, just because I don't have the apertures, right? Just because I don't have all the things that someone who has probably been doing what you're looking to do for years, right? Someone's already been in the game for 5, 10 years. So they've been able to acquire some assets and some infrastructure and things of that nature. But
I'm excited for you guys to check out today's video. It's actually being brought to you in partnership with Bootstrapping Redefined 2023. This is the 4th annual conference, and this year it focuses on leadership. If you're a leader in ministry, a leader in business, inspiring to be a leader, trying to figure out how do you grow your team and work better with them, this is the conference for you. Now, this conference has been in Virginia, it's been in Maryland. This year it's coming to Atlanta, Georgia. If you're anywhere close to the Atlanta metro area, definitely get your in-person seat right now. But maybe you can't get to Atlanta. We have virtual access, and the team over at Bootstrapping Redefined gave me a huge discount code. So make sure you check that out before all those codes are used up. I'm excited for this conference, get a chance to be a part of it again. Great speakers, great lineup. Now, let's get over to the interview because you guys are really going to enjoy this one. What's going on, everybody? We are back for another episode of Teach Me Tuesday. I got a good friend here, someone I get to connect with. I can talk anything with this guy, but today we're going to talk about community, getting out your own way. Might even dip your waters into a little AI conversation. Is it too much? What do we need to be looking out for? I got this guy here. This is what I want to look like when I start to grow my beard all the way in. The dude is super clean. My guy, James Hicks, is here. What's going on, James? How you doing today?
Come on now. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Monty Weaver's on the other side of the camera. Man, I'm just here, brother, trying to hang out with you today.
East Coast, West Coast vibe we got going on today. James,
That's what we
tell
do.
them where you from, man, or where you at now? I don't know where you from.
Well,
where you at
how much
now?
time we got? How much time we got? I'm a military dependent, brother, so I'm from everywhere. I've had more stamps in my passport growing up than most folks have in their entire life. Extended family is right over there with you, East Coast, okay. Hampton, Virginia, Georgetown, Maryland, that type of thing. But I'm over here in Northern California with my wife, my 2 kids, and we are doing our thing. I've been in enterprise technology for, dare I say, a little over 3 decades, and been consulting, been digital publishing, been helping entrepreneurs and solopreneurs do their thing for about 10 years now. So yeah, with Hicks New Media. So I'm loving the journey, man.
Yeah,
loving connecting with folks like you and connecting with folks around us as well. But that's just what keeps me moving, man. 24 hours, right?
I was listening to an interview that you did, or the conversation. It might have been with our friend Keith Pelzer, but you were kind of talking about the pandemic and being able to make that transition and like focus on business in 2020. Can you kind of talk about like what that transition looked like, and then kind of get into like some of the stuff that you're doing right now?
Yeah, I always say, and I don't know if it's not really a morbid story, but it just seems to be the story that works for me. What happened? I say if there was any blessing of COVID, it was from a content curation perspective. It allowed me to pause and allowed me to say, what exactly do I really want to do, right? So for a long time, I was publishing content on blogs using WordPress, but I grew up really in that realm and with that ecosystem. But adding video, adding audio and podcasts, at storytelling, turning lights on, pressing record, and having someone on the other end and having them say what's important to them. A lot of times folks will say, no, I'm not an interesting person. I don't have anything to say. But as soon as we turn these lights on, as soon as we press record, we can sit here and start talking for 30, 45 minutes. And that right there is really what allowed me to say, there's something here. We can get above the noise, because listen, a lot of stuff out there on the internet, it's a lot of entertainment, but it's a lot of noise. I'm trying to get above that line and really have concrete conversations with folks. I want to talk with Monty Weaver about things that he's doing to build his brand, build his business, help himself and help others around him that are trying to do the same things. That's the conversation that, again, like I say, when the world stopped, it allowed me to kind of put some framework in place and say, these are the things that I want to do to the community that I'm looking to shepherd. So,
Yeah, that's good, man. I remember when we crossed paths in 2020. It was about live streaming and getting people hooked up with their tech and their audio and all this stuff. But one thing that like really came out of these connections was these communities would pop up, and I think you're part of the Ecamm fam, if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken. And one thing we talk about over here too is community growth and the importance of community. Can you define community for me and tell me what you're seeing now is social media? Like you said, there's so much noise out there, but like, can you define community and like tell us what it is in your perspective?
Yeah, and so community from two different perspectives, right? So one from a organizer, and then one from a member of that community, right? If I'm a member of a community, I'm looking for like-minded individuals to have a space, and now a digital space for the most part, because we've gotten so used to being virtual now, right? So like-minded individuals in a virtual space to where we can share ideas, where we can collaborate, where we can have constructive criticism, constructive feedback, and really help others grow, right? No big eyes and little me's in here, just everyone on the same accord doing something that's going to help each other to rise above. No crabs in a barrel situation here, right? So that's my expectation from a member of a community. And then kind of from a moderator side, or what I like to call the shepherd of the community, it's just to make sure that that is happening. Make sure that that engagement is happening, making sure that no one's either overstepping bounds or doing too much self-promotion as opposed to teaching and as opposed to consulting, that kind of thing, right? Just making sure that the energy is where it should be for collaboration, engagement, and moving others forward. So that's community today. And I think in my perspective, I'm seeing more and more folks deciding that that's what they want to do, and that's what they want to be a part of. So I'm seeing a lot of, again, solopreneurs, digital content creators start up either their own community around a specific niche or a specific topic or a specific genre, right? I know how to do remote producing from a digital production perspective. So folks are getting like-minded folks together, or folks who want to get involved in that. They're sharing technology ideas. They're sharing setup ideas. They're sharing location, right? They're sharing all of this information as opposed to just having it on a piece of paper on their desk or locked on a file on their laptop. And that's how everyone grows. And I'm really starting to see those happen now, as opposed to not just places to hang out, but more premium communities. So folks are now saying, you know what, I'm gonna pay attention to what I pay for. And if Monty Weaver is starting a community that is locked in on online selling and digital setups, I'm willing to pay for the value of being a part of that community because I know what he does and I know the people that are around him. So I'm really starting to see kind of that slowly take fold and come into fruition. So it's an exciting time for folks in the technology sector.
That last part you said, the people around them. And when I look at you and I look at the people that are around you, I like all of you. And sometimes, in the past where it's like, I like the one person, but I don't really know who they're associated with. But in the community, you find a lot of the same types of people. They're going the same way, the same type of thought process. I have a friend that we talk about business. Like, we just talk about business, and it's just so fluid, and it's not like what's your hidden agenda behind you. And having people like that in the community is like, it's nice that my thoughts won't be taken and just stolen and just reused, So I'm glad to kind of be in community with people like you, that we have similar interests and similar ideas, and I can just bounce something off of you and say, hey, does this even make sense? Or, hey, what do you think about this? And get some honest feedback, whether that's, hey, pumping my head up a little bit, or hey, come back down to reality, Monty. That's not quite what you think is going to happen.
Listen, hey, I had folks in my community literally early on in my video sharing and storytelling career tell me, I may have told you this story before as well, say, hey, James, you know what? Your content is dope. Content is on point, and what you're saying makes sense. But you know what you need to do right now? You're going to have to level up them overlays. You're going to have to level up them thumbnails, because that's what people are seeing. And I tell you what, that man called me at 9:30 p.m. my time. I was up till 1 o'clock in the morning honing that craft, working on and taking that criticism, taking that feedback, that constructive feedback, and leveling up because that person knew 10% more than I did. And he saw the value in what I was producing. And that's the kind of community I'm looking at growing, right? That's the kind of, and listen, don't be hesitant to receive feedback and criticism and things of that nature, right? That's how we continue to grow. And when I took that and I leveled up and listen, man, I'm trying to make sure my overlays is tight now. Boy, you're not gonna tell me that my stuff isn't. We getting there. We always evolving. So, but yeah, man, that's what I did.
Yeah, you clean over there. I will say you clean over there.
Man, listen, everything in its place. You see everything in its place, boy. Yeah.
Oh man. As we kind of transition a little bit, inside a community, sometimes we can look and see what other people are doing and maybe have a little envy. Maybe I wish I could do it like that. And was like, man, that he got the clean camera and a good sounding microphone, so I'm just not going to do it. And we just kind of get in our own way. Can you talk about, being in the community, but not being maybe intimidated by the other people that are there? You want to get to that next level or do that next thing, but you kind of self-sabotage yourself and you get stuck.
That's a good statement about self-sabotage. And I continually say folks need to get out of their own way because you're only limiting yourself. No one around you is telling you no. No one is telling you, Monty, you can't do this. You shouldn't do this. There's probably some haters out there. You're not winning unless you got some haters. But that loudest voice in your head is yours, saying that, just because I'm not shooting in 4K or 8K, just because I don't have the full frame, and just because I don't have the apertures, right? Just because I don't have all the things that someone who has probably been doing what you're looking to do for years, right? Someone's already been in the game for 5-10 years, so they've been able to acquire some assets and some infrastructure and things of that nature. But decent priced microphones and decent price lapel mics, things of that nature that will get you to where you need to be. Just if you got a story, if you got a message, if you got something you want to say, there's a community around there just waiting for you to say that. Go out there and do it, and don't let the expense of any infrastructure get in the way. That's what folks always, what I'm always talking to when I do consulting conversations. They're always worried that, again, they don't have that latest and greatest piece of gear to get out there and do it. If you continue to try to chase that next Sony A7R5. Oh yeah, I didn't want to drop any new names that were coming out. The A60s. Okay, I'll go ahead and say it, right? The A6700 that's coming out here in a couple of days. Even though I'm gonna get one, don't pay attention to me. But something, just because you don't have that doesn't mean that you can't get out there, share your message either on audio or on video or even from a textual basis, right? Old school blogging and things like that. So stop limiting yourself. If you've got a desire and a passion and a mindset that I can do this, I can say this, I can share this information, I know something, and I think other folks would like to hear this message, get out there and do it, and stop stop being in your own way.
Yeah, I was listening to, I'm not sure if you follow Colin and Samir, and I was listening to one of their recent YouTube podcasts, and they were interviewing a guy that works at YouTube and about content creation and some of the trends. And the YouTube gentleman, he said there was a video that was getting a lot of views, and it was someone riding in an elevator. It was basically these elevator videos, like people pressing the button. And they asked him, like, why is this video so popular and getting all this attention the way it does? And he said the guy behind that channel does those videos because the people in the autism community can relate to it, like the sounds and the buttons and the movement.
Wow.
And it was all, I was like, I would have never guessed that. I would have thought from my perspective, it's just some guy riding up an elevator. Yeah. Why does it have hundreds of thousands of views? So when you said, just press record and just, get the content done, I was thinking about that video. It's not a high quality production or anything, and people can relate to your story. You just got to put it out there.
That's true. I mean, and depending on what your goal is and what you're trying to do, if you're trying to do video and you're not very comfortable being on camera, if your camera is shy, just do a don't be on camera. Right? Just have talking head. Just have something else. Just have overlays. Just have images. Just have whatever, and don't even be on camera. Right?
Yeah.
If that's your story, or just do an audio podcast. Right? Just talk. And you can do that. And again, there's no excuse. Something like an Anchor or a Spotify. I'm not sure if Anchor's still around, but you can record your podcast on your phone using the old Spotify Anchor app, mobile. I think it's on Android and on iOS, and it'll be live as soon as you stop recording. So you've just created a piece of content. Everyone sits in their car, talks to themselves, and has the greatest ideas in the world.
Yep.
Right, we sit there and Monday morning quarterback every single thing that's going on. We know how to stop world hunger. We know how to make world peace. We know how to make my Steelers finally win another Super Bowl. We can figure all that stuff out, right? And why not share that with an audience and with the community? Come on, man. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I ain't gonna take us in the left field, but all the former athletes that have video podcasts right now, currently, one of the major TV networks is letting go a whole bunch of their on-air personalities. They're coming and creating their own platform or their own domain here on these social media channels, and I sit there and I can't tell you the last time I watched one of the major networks and got value out of it. I'm listening to these former players discuss it amongst themselves and how they present it, and I'm like, subscribe. When's the next episode coming out? And I love it, man. So
I'll mention something. Every time the pivot, every time Shannon Sharpe comes online, I get my notifications because that's compelling content. Again, that's above that noise level, right? Mm-hmm. It enlightens, entertains, and educates. That's one of the missions that I have for my organization. And as long as it does those three things, then it's going to be good and it's going to resonate. And if a marker of success for you in these content creation streaks is a plaque, those two gentlemen that run those two shows, they got their plaques.
Yeah, it's good content. If y'all haven't checked it out, check it out. I'm gonna link to it, tag it. Hopefully they reach out.
I'm over here. I know I'm over here dropping names and competition. Hopefully they come on, y'all.
Hey, maybe they'll join us on one of these. We do it as a group. I invite you, so I won't talk to them unless you're there. How about that?
That'll work, but I appreciate you, man. Good looking out. Shay better come on.
Speaking of you, one of your shirts, I don't have it on. You don't have it on right now. I try to get my apparel ready when I know I'm going to interview someone, and I kind of supported what they do. Yeah. You got the word focus, and the letter U is highlighted, it's underlined, it's bolded. I'm going to link to James's shop in the notes so you guys can check it out. Can you explain what that is? Because before I met you, that was kind of one of my sayings, like, stop worrying about everybody else. Because I know how I understood it. Stop worrying about everybody else, what everybody else is doing. But like, just focus on you. And then when I saw the shirt, I was like, buy now. Because I don't know if that's what he meant by it, but that's what I mean by it. And that's what I'm getting from it. Can you kind of talk about that?
That's exactly it. As you said, everything else is written in white. And then the U is in blue. It's in my brand blue too. I know my hex codes by heart, 20557B. That's a shame. Needless to say, but it is. That's what it is. Stay focused on you. The U is underlined and the U is highlighted because again, a lot of times we're looking at external entities. We're looking at external motivators. We're looking at folks that crab in a barrel situation that I mentioned, which is unfortunate. But if you just stay locked in on what it is that you are trying to do, if you stay locked in on building your brand, your business, your community, providing value, then you're going to succeed. When will it come? Who knows when it'll come, right? This is a marathon. This is definitely not a sprint. And we don't really want it to be a sprint. We want to actually respect that process. We want to actually go through the ups and the downs and go through all those situations. So if you stay locked in, you stay focused on what it is that you're trying to do, eventually it's going to work out. And eventually you're going to bring value. And eventually you're going to actually have something that resonates. And you're going to have that starting legacy that really a lot of us are looking to leave as we get out there and embark and talk to folks. So yeah, man, stay focused. I'm wearing the Creator today, so I'm rocking this one. But I didn't wear my Focus today.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check
Bring me
that one
back
out.
on one of these months, you know, and I'll put some focus gear on it.
Yeah. I'll have to make sure I rock mine too. I do have a shirt. I know if y'all follow me on YouTube, you have seen me wear the shirt before, so I got it.
I tell you what, before I'll even offer a 50. I'm not. Well, hold on. 15% discount. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah,
Well,
I'll go ahead and do
just
that.
say discount code and whatever it is, I'll have it ready.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I got 2 kids in college. We still gotta pay for tuition. I'll hook y'all up with a nice discount code. Maybe H&M 15. Yeah, that's what H&M 15 is going to be the discount code. There we go.
Okay, all right. Y'all make sure check out the pin post. Check
Lord,
out the
let me write this down right now because I'm gonna forget, and then y'all
because
gonna
we're
come
gonna
back
make
at me.
sure that y'all can get this shirt. Cause,
Yes,
it's
yes.
one of those shirts that you can just wear and like, yeah, especially if you're an entrepreneur, content creator. Like it just represent. I was telling Steve Worthy, our friend over there, I was like, when you wear the shirt, like it's like I would buy that shirt if I didn't know you, and you know, because of the message itself. So make sure y'all check
Appreciate
that out. Let's talk about this one concept that, you know, it's been a hot topic conversation. As you was talking about, you know, we were talking about focusing on yourself. One of the things I'm thinking of is how you can continue to focus on yourself and be authentic even now with this rise of this AI technology. Because I've gotten the questions on, you know, what do you think about it and how do you use it, all of this. And it's new. It's like we're trying to figure this stuff out. You know, we've already seen it being definitely misused. We've seen these conversations on Capitol Hill about it. The guy that started OpenAI Chat GPT is like, I don't, we shouldn't be using it like this. Like, you created this monster, this beast, and now you're like putting it down. Give me some impressions of what you think is happening. How should we view this? Is it good? Is it bad? You know,
Yeah.
Let's talk AI.
So I prefaced earlier, kind of in my monologue, saying I've been in enterprise IT for about 3 decades, 35 years, and artificial intelligence is not new to us. Right, so we've been we as a society have been using AI for a very long time, either from the military or from a business perspective, things of that nature. What's happening now is that it's becoming more commercialized. It's actually just like the internet from the beginning, right? The internet started off in the military, then it started becoming commercialized, and then everyday people got to use it, saw some value in it. That's where we are right now with not necessarily AI, artificial intelligence, but generative AI, the ability to feed a sample of data and create something from that sample, create multiple pieces of content, multiple pieces of information from that fed training model. That's what generative AI is right now. So folks are saying now that I can use something like a Chat GPT or Perplexity.ai or whatever the case may be and say, write me a story about building websites using WordPress. 5 minutes later, you've got a story that is generated from that prompt that you presented to the algorithm and to the platform that will actually have that story written. The challenge about this is that we need to respect this technology, not be afraid of it, but we need to respect it because it's not going anywhere. If anything, it's going to become more pervasive within our society in terms of how we do things, especially how we do business. Unfortunately, for some folks, it is going to replace their occupations because it's so much easier to use an algorithm, a robot, a computer than it is to pay somebody $20, $30, $40, $50 an hour, whatever the case may be, to do a similar type of role. So train up, be more strategic as opposed to be tactical in terms of your offering to society right there. So don't look at it as maybe replacing you from whatever you do currently, but use it as a tool to up your skills. Go out there and learn how to program. Go out there and learn how to utilize this technology. So it's out there. It's here. The fact that it's on these TVs, it's on CNBC, it's on CBS, it's on CNN. Folks are starting to see it now and are being concerned about it because we are. It's a weird curve right now because we're at kind of at that top of the curve where folks are using it for every single thing out there, right? I do believe that it will eventually taper off or plateau to a point where we now see the models and we now see the platforms that work and really bring value as opposed to just having a whole bunch of stuff thrown at the wall like spaghetti, and then it'll start tapering off. But again, it's not going anywhere. Get comfortable with it. Don't be afraid of it. Learn how to leverage it for positive usage within your world, either professional or personal. So
I've been using it more recently for my YouTube titles, and even some of my description things, just to more so be an idea provoker for me. Okay, oh, I would have never thought of wording something this way. I actually like this a little bit better, but I do want to make some modifications. And so I've been using it a little bit. And of course, as a techie, just what can I do with it? I want to try to break something. I want to try to see what I can do with it. But when it comes to like putting it out there for a business, I know some people have sold the AI, claiming it was theirs. I'm like, oh, you did the whole ebook.
Yeah.
But you put in no input. You didn't even spell check it just to say, okay, it put Bob's name in there and your name is something else. So
see, and that's a great point right there, right? Yeah. Feed in the information, feed in the prompt to the platform, but make it your own, right?
Yeah.
Don't just accept what it sends out verbatim 100%, right? Because again, it may not be in the same tone that you would typically write or talk in. So again, take it as a framework, take it as a foundation, and say these are some ideas, these are some best practices. This is some information based on the prompt that you provided. But then go in and add your own little ad libs, add your own flair to it. That way, it is uniquely yours. You just use some assistance. You just had a tutor, right, to help you come up with the idea and come up with the information. So
yeah. And there are a lot of tools out there. I found one site, it said like 200 AI tools, and you type in kind of what you're looking for. So if it's copywriting, editing, let me not say editing because my editors
don't do that. Man, see, we already talking about.
Don't look for video editing.
God, we already talking about replacing people's jobs, and Monty over here getting rid of it. Oh Lord!
I love my team. What I've encouraged them to do though is actually look at what tools can help us get the job done better, more efficiently. Because I still need the human touch factor. But what can we do that will cut down on time? What can we do that might even improve what we're doing and make the quality better and we're just more efficient at what we're doing? So there are definitely some the positives to using it for sure. I even sidebar, when I go to stores, I try not to go to the self checkouts. If there's a human employee at a register, I try to go to the register just so we don't get rid of all the jobs, especially someone that grew up and I was working in a grocery store. I was a cashier, the bagger. So if I didn't have that job, I don't know what I would have been doing.
I know what you mean. See, but you a better man than that. I don't like talking to folks. See, I'm just trying to get up in, get up out, get my ice cream, get my pralines and cream, and then
Look, I ain't gonna have a full-blown conversation with you now. Look, I'm just trying to make sure that you got your job so that you can feed your family too.
I'll tell you what, I'll go inside and I'll talk to somebody. I got to go to the store tomorrow. I'll make sure I'll go to the real person line. And when I get my pralines and cream and talk to somebody, and I'll give a shout out to Monty Weaver when I do that.
Yeah, so you gave us the discount code and you gonna go.
Man, how come I get all this homework? Yeah.
Look, it was not supposed to turn into that. Oh, man.
I got all the action items now. That's all.
Speaking of homework, I might give the viewers some homework to come and talk to you and fill out a consultation, James. How can you help the people out, man, especially that are looking to grow community and get out of their own way? Because I know that's a big hurdle. We can talk tech stuff, we can talk websites and building and sales funnels and all that stuff, but this thing up here sometimes can be the roadblock. How can you help them out?
By quieting some of that noise. Right. And kind of putting perspective in terms of what needs to come first. Right. We want a lot. We want it all. We want it all now. But when do you need it? When do you need to set up the LLC? When do you need to set up the standard operating procedures? When do you need to set up the website? Right. When you need to make the separate social media profiles and things of that. Which platform should you use for your audio podcast and for your video live stream? So having those smaller conversations about the things that really resonate, and then making sure that we understand what is the message that you're looking to present to your audience and to your community. Because if you're only doing this for yourself, I can't help you. Right. Again, if you're only looking at this for personal gain, if you're only looking at building a brand, building a business, building a community or something just for you, for the likes and for the subscribers or for whatever the case may be, you're in it for the wrong reason. And that's going to be short lived. But if you're looking to help people, if you're looking to advocate into folks, I'd say advocate because I don't like the word influence. If you're looking to advocate into folks and give recommendations and give suggestions, then that's where we can start. Whether we can start talking about not boiling the ocean, not trying to do all the things at one time, but doing the right things at the right time.
Man, that point was so good. We'd be here all day. If you guys aren't following James, I'm gonna link to him. If you get a chance to have a conversation with like really good conversation. I think one of the first live streams I was on this year, we were all in a round table together and having a good catch up meeting. 2020 built some really good relationships for me, and James is just one of those guys. So I appreciate you for being here, man. And
appreciate you, brother.
Information, some knowledge, and everything. Where can people find you, James? Website, socials? Where do you like to hang out here online?
Listen, I'll give the easy place, jameshicks.link. That is my catch-all for everything. It pivots off into hicksnewmedia.com. It pivots off into my YouTube channel, also into getting on my calendar for either live streaming, consulting, or just meetings. Pivots off to the merch store as well. So one centralized location, jameshicks.link, will take you to any and everything that I'm involved in.
Awesome. And he's on the West Coast too. So if y'all
there we go. Listen,
Coast,
so I'm up 3 hours. Well, was it later than you? So don't book anything. Listen, come on. Let me tell don't book anything before 7 a.m. y'all, because I will not be the same cheery person.
Yeah. Look. A lot of my audience is East Coast, so I definitely had to put that out there. Just make sure y'all get him at the right time.
We'll work it out then. We'll work it out.
Again, appreciate you, James. You guys watching, I hope you guys got some value. I know you got some value. Put in the chat, in the comment section, like what you got from this episode. I definitely want to have James back because we jumped on before and we could talk about anything. But we have a passion for growing community and helping people get to where they're trying to get to, and staying focused on what you got to stay focused on. So put that information in the comment section. Look forward to seeing you next week on Teach Me Tuesday. You guys have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll see you next week.